So after replaying the demo that we got, I've come to the conclusion that there's a lot of unanswered questions that we really just don't know the answer to. For example, the cave drawings, what exactly does that mean, or is it just art? Also, the battles that they go into, is there a timer that we have to start ourselves, or is there a 30-second prep, and how long is it? So for that, I feel we really need to talk to one of the developers. And guys, I do have something set up so that we can talk to them. I believe I have Kieran that will be doing an interview with me perhaps next week. So you guys make sure that you put in the comments below what questions you have for him. But in today's episode, we are just going to go over some of the new updates that they did drop yesterday, and maybe even cover some older updates that perhaps you guys haven't seen. And really, I was new to it. They showcased like a flea system, which I probably will do a separate video on that, and the evolution form of the Atlas and the Ramfire. Really cool stuff. So I will just be covering the new update stuff if you guys haven't seen it, and we'll just go over that in today's episode. So in today's leaks, what they gave us was they showcased some of the artwork or the level design with the Ranger on the side, so you can kind of make out like the scale of this. I'm not sure what exact level this is at, but I'm believing it looks like it's around the Crimson Waste. The Ice World could have more level design. Now this, even though it looks like these are ice structures, this could be like rocky structures that you could have in any area really. So they just gave us an example of what this looks like with the Ranger next to it. The Ranger, I believe the main character will always be the female. That's the main one. But however, we get to choose our own Ranger when we're in there. I'm not even sure. I think this is what I want to ask here. And like, will we encounter other people inside the overworld, or is it just us? Now, for some reason, these look like ovaries, but I'm assuming these are probably like mushrooms or some other structure that looks like some sort of plant life. That could be the case. I'm just, guessing because this is like the 3D structure of it. And yeah, we don't really have too much to go off of, except that this is these are perhaps some of these structures that you will see in the overworld. Now, I was thinking this could be like the spikes off of an alluvial, but I could be wrong. This looks like it could be anything. They could just, create these and then place them anywhere. So don't know of too many overworld areas or lands that would have spikes, perhaps maybe the labyrinth area, but that's just me. And this like definitely looks like it's an alluvial. I could be wrong, but that definitely looks like it's some character that we're going to be using in the game. Now there is the Seaphorus, which is the only character I know of that has like a shell looking thing, but this looks like it's a little more spiky-ish, kind of dinosaur looking lizard spiky stuff. So that could be a possibility if that's a new alluvial that they're just showcasing here. And now it just gets it even more confusing if this is an alluvial or if this is just some plant structure holding on to these discs, ball looking things. Or are those eyes? That's just so crazy. You know what? That does even remind me of that Titan looking thing with the Ranger looking at it. No, they don't have any scale of the Ranger next to this object, so we don't know how big this is. But yeah, this is definitely a very strange looking thing. This looks like something out of Aliens, where you have those eggs that are about to hatch. Not sure if this is something we can harvest or extract from for materials, but that's what it looks like. And finally, this is what is the most confusing thing. I don't even know if this is like a spider-looking tree, or if this is just structures we'll be jumping on, or this could even be like the base of a tree where they have the roots and then they put a tree on top of it. Depending on how they create stuff, if it's like a full structure or just separate pieces that you put together with the materials of the overworld, that could be the case here. Very interesting to know, and very interesting just to see. And also shout outs to the designers. I think Grant mentioned that they're from Ukraine. Big shout outs to the guys from there if they're working during the war. I thought that was pretty awesome that Grant mentioned that. These were some of the images I didn't cover. They did showcase the land, how Crimson Waste with the Illuvium Zero will look like. I thought this was nice, but they didn't show all of them. They didn't show every land. They gave us, I think, 3 or 4. I think 3 to look at. And that kind of like made me hesitate which land to buy because I wasn't sure what it would look like. Because really, looking at the land here kind of persuades me a little bit which one to buy. So I did pick up Crimson Waste and a few others. So yeah, definitely looking nice. Can't wait to see what the others look like though. Here's also some other alluvials that they gave us information on. Well, really, just looking at them, you can see that these are the affinity types. And you know what? This makes me think of, I think there was Flish. They have like a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 of Flish. So not even sure how that's going to work with some of these. If some of these affinities make you a tier 2 or 3. We just don't have a lot of information on these alluvials to, make a guess on that. But this is what one of the alluvials look like. I got to really brush up on the names of these guys. One of the most odd-looking alluvials, this guy definitely has a hairdo. And, yeah, he has all the affinities there. So that's pretty cool. Probably one of the alluvials that I feel like, okay, this guy has all the affinities here, but even if he does, it looks pretty nice. I like the way this guy looks. Looks like a little troll. They gave us a close-up of how it looks from the sides. I think this one would probably maybe be one of my favorites. I believe this is like the water type here. We also have the earth type. Definitely got his nails did, or is that just the design? And I like a reflective surface at the bottom. This is the earth. Really cool. And this would really confuse a lot of people if you didn't know this was wind. Definitely could look like an ice, because I think that is one affinity, but I don't think they're doing that. I think we're just doing like the main ones, right? So this is air right here. Fire would be the next one. Definitely looking like a magma between like the fire and the earth, but I believe that's just the fire. Finally, nature is the last one. Definitely one of the more cuter ones with the flowers on them. I would, if I was making this guy, I'd probably like put some branches or something on them. Flowers are nice. And lastly, we are introduced into some of the hexes that they're using with the arena here. Now, I believe this is for, placement or for some sort of observable way we can look at the design of how we're setting up our alluvials when we're placing them there. So they introduced us to like a moving, and I'll give you guys more information on this. I'll show you a visual of this, but these hexagons or these patterns will move so that this is how it's set up. So yeah, they gave us some demonstrations here. It approaches in a zigzag from side to side. Yeah, so this is basically, the patterns of the arena here. And of course, this is the showcasing of it. So yeah, that perhaps will come into play and this would be the last one. Perhaps, this is probably the one I might use the most. Looks pretty basic and, we'll have to see how it's used or not. And finally, guys, this was the arenas on, I believe this was Crystal Shores. They showed the arena here, the stadium that, that somebody will be getting. They didn't do the stadium auction yet. I believe they're waiting because perhaps we have a bear market and the buyers weren't ready for it. But yeah, I believe they're going to wait for that. So we will have to see. Halcyon C would be probably one of the best, looking that I wanted to get, but I didn't pick it up. But there it is. I felt this is probably one of the more nicer looking areas. Just the structures of the aquatic stuff makes it really interesting. I believe this is Brightland Steps. So we have, a basic look of it. I believe that's what it is. If it's not, forgive me, but I believe that's Brightland Steps with the green and the pinkish looking structures. And finally, the Abyssal Basin. I believe that's it. It's more like a swampy look. And yeah, you have all your structures here. So really, I'm not sure if you can even remove these, but they will be there for the, the land that you bought. So pretty cool. That's pretty much, the gist of everything, guys. So as I said again, I will be, hopefully talking to Aaron next week, and we could talk about, some stuff if you missed in the trailer or if you didn't understand it. I think this is really, interesting stuff, and just, we have some unanswered questions that we have to ask this guy. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you comment below, subscribe, and let me know, and I will see you on the next episode. And if you have any more, videos you want to watch with the survival or just learning about staking and stuff, make sure you click these videos up here, and I will see you guys on the next one.